past 60 years, there's been a massive decline in foreign missions.
I'm sharing the gospel through church planting.
In the 1930s, if somebody gave $10 in Thai, they'd give an additional $6 in foreign missions. Today, just 28 cents.
We're doing the best we can with what we have, but I'm still not satisfied.
Over 2 billion people in the world today still have no access to the gospel.
God's crazy in love with the Thai people, and I sense His Spirit hovering over the city.
I've come to Bangkok, Thailand, to discover the truth about foreign missions. Come with me as I follow my good friend, Pastor Doug Venn, in his everyday life as a frontline missionary.
I prayed for God's biggest dream, and He gave me this city of 12 million. Welcome to my world. We're here at the Nonthaburi church plant, and I was just talking to one of the neighbors here because yesterday on the third floor there was a fire. I was going to ask permission to see if we can go check it out. How Thai video วันนี้ในพฤติกรรมลูกชายของครับผม The water from the fire department is still coming down, so. These are the ovens that they use for the painting of the different parts for the motorcycle. You can see the fire last, it melted. Okay. So our friends here are making the different motorcycle parts, and you're going to go upstairs here. So I need. Here's what could have started the fire. So there was a fan, and the paint thinner caught on fire, and so that's what yesterday they had kind of like they had like a shelter over these two areas, and now. Burned.
So the fan had like electrical short or something?
Electrical short. You can see the next two over, that's where the church plant is. The Lord protected us. I can't believe this, that no one was hurt. It didn't, you can see, well, nothing. I mean, our church plant is right next door. Oh, this is the paint thinner. I need. Oh, this is what started the fire, but it was open. I need burnt China. Oh, and so that's what caught on fire.
So all these paint thinner cans are right on the other side of this door, and if they had caught fire, they could bring them down the other side.
Yes, right. So they've already taken 2 trucks out of the rubble away.
You have insurance?
Me prakan mai? No. So if it would have gone down, the whole building would have exploded, because you see, I mean, we just saw on the stairway there with all of the cans of paint thinner. There's one thing that had 200 liters of this paint thinner, and so this was just 1 gallon. I'm going to share with him that I see that this is God's hand that protecting them, and so then that way to show His love and grace to them. So that's what I'm going to try to say in Thai. Whether that comes across or not, that's another story. So ผมเห็นพระเจ้าพระองค์ดูแลคุณและอันนี้บริษัทนี้เพราะว่าอันนี้เห็นโอกาสเห็นพระองค์เห็นความรักเพราะว่าไม่มีคนตายแต่อันนี้ชั้น 2ไม่มีระเบิดดีแล้วไม่มีระเบิดถ้าลงในชั้น 2ไอ้ตัวถ้าระเบิดขึ้นมาชั้น 1 มันจะตุ้มเลย
Now we're heading to the church plant. It's housed in a 3-story building with apartments upstairs for the full-time staff.
This is our church planting team, and I was just asking them what happened yesterday and what time. So Alvin, what time did it happen yesterday?
Around 9 o'clock.
In the morning?
In the morning.
And so what did you guys do?
Run. We just run. I saw the fire. I came out, oh, something wrong already. I just go run get my things. And he still don't know what I'm going. Ajahn, take the thing. Your stuff.
But can you tell me how long has it been since this church plant has been in this community?
I have been for 5 years already, but I have been here for 2 years after Ajahn Miu. He is the one that started. He is the foundation of this center.
Ajahn Miu. And so Ajahn Miu is now a missionary at the hospital. So he is now serving there. But Ajahn Miu, what was it like when you first came here?
It's very difficult, but the people around here are very nice. And so even though it's new, the place is new, but the people are warm and welcoming. And that's one thing that makes you feel much more comfortable when you are stepping out to the first area. But that's God is really great that He always lead us and guide us.
What is the background of these people? What is their faith background?
Majorities are the Buddhists, and they have a very strong Buddhist background, and like from generations and generations they have been born into this in this faith and grew up.
So what was it like for you? I know you were the first church planting pioneer here, and so what was it like for you to live Christ and to experience God's grace, but then to start over time start sharing that with your English students?
Being the example to them, and it's one of the things that they can see Christ, and another thing is being patient with them. For example, like when you are teaching, many of them they don't have the English background, so just like they will raise a lot of questions, and some questions you have to repeat many times and times again. So like even they feel themselves that they have the question they raise make them embarrassed, but when we are patiently repeating the answer that what they want, that's really make them feel that okay, we are kind of like the Christianity that showing the love and grace and the patience to them. So yeah.
How did you see God work, not only in your life but in the lives of some of these? Can you tell us a story?
Like the people are so kind, and then the more we live and the more they get close to us, and once they get close to us they really see the intentions that we have here, and there are a few like Miss Kanikas and the rest, they start paying attention to what we have intended to do here, and that's how the work grows. And above all is God's really guiding us. Actually, He's the one that God is the one that really bringing each one.
Amen.
Yeah, that we should meet and encounter. It's not that we went and invite. Actually, in sometimes we went out and invite, they don't come. But and some of them might come, but only for a short times, because that's a human invitation. But when the God's invitation comes, like we never met them, they just bring word by word, and they come and they stay longer than what we expected. So like when God's bring, people stay.
The program's about to start, but there's so many other stories of how God has been working in the lives of these men and women, and some of them are still in the valley of decision. One last question before we go and start the program, Ajahn Miu. What if this church plant wasn't here, would these people have a chance to know Jesus Christ?
If this church plant wasn't here, I don't think that these people would have a chance. Wouldn't have a chance, yeah.
When you got here, did the people that you meet, did they already know about Jesus?
No, they didn't know about Jesus, yeah.
Never heard?
They never heard, yeah.
So I was asking Miss Gan, who is a Buddhist, that 5 years ago, before when the center just started and she came to here to study English, had you ever heard of Jesus Christ before? And her answer to me was no, she'd never heard the story about Jesus before.
Had she ever heard the name of Jesus?
เคยได้ยินชื่อพระเยซูสมัยก่อนเคยได้ยินไหม So no she had never
Never.
So ขอโทษครับพี่อายุเท่าไหร่
45.
45 years old
45.
How old were you the very first time you heard the gospel?
So อายุเท่าไหร่เวลาได้ยินชื่อพระเยซู So อายุเท่าไหร่
4-5.
So เดือนนี้4-5ใช่
4-5
แต่เวลาได้ยินชื่อพระเยซูเป็นประมาณ5 ปีที่แล้วใช่ไหม Okay, so she was 40 years old.
So how come they don't learn through 3ABN?
That's a very difficult question to ask for me to answer, because if the 3ABN can reach through the broadcasting media, like the channel 3s here and so on, it will be fine that they will have a chance to reach. But if the 3ABN is just like the true move that you have to play a lot,
Right.
then it won't.
It's on cable.
Yeah, it's on cable. Then it won't be. They won't be able to get those kind of channels.
But what language is 3ABN in, or Hope Channel?
Must be in Thai.
But right now, what language is it in?
I'm not sure yet.
Some of these women or housewives or businesswomen in the community here, they have been seeing how God has been igniting one of their friends and how God has been changing their life and marriage and their family. And then the others was like, they're starting to feel that fire warm in their hearts. And so to me, that is why over the last 5 years, to see that spark ignite one and then starting to ignite another, and that gives me such but I've been only viewing through your eyes over your shoulders, as you've been here in the field. Ajahn Mu has been an inspiration for me to see how God has been working not only in his life through him, but also in the lives of these men and women. So the program's going to start now, so we don't want to be late.
Yeah.
Right now we're singing "O Come All You Faithful," but as I look around, many of these people, they don't know this song, because this could be the first time they're singing it today.
Silent night, holy night. Hey. ผมร้องภาษาอังกฤษกันนะ1 2 3 Silent night, holy night, all is done, all is done.
Right now we're singing different beautiful songs right now, but the background on these songs and the language is something that we have to give explanation, because we're praying now. Dr. Surachet is telling the story of what's the real story about Christmas, to help the audience know. He's giving a overview of who is God. God is the creator, and why did he come to this earth, and what's going on, because many of these people, they have no background at all in the Christian stories or the Christian perspective, or even the words that we use. And so that's one thing that in our church planting work we have to give explanation in a ways that the people can understand, and you can't just come in and say, well, right now, who's Satan? Who is that? He's just saying that the Thais, they don't know this, but yet you see the game internet shop today. The Thai kids get to see all kinds of evil, and where does that evil come from? And so we have to teach the kids, that there's good and there's evil, and that there's great controversy, and there's God and there's Satan, and we have to teach our kids, you need to choose the good and not the evil. Dr. Surachet right now is talking about how where did these religions come from. This is a misconception that many Thais have, is that Christianity is a foreign religion, and so that's why Dr. Surachet right now is reminding them with the map that Christianity, its roots are actually Asian. And so whenever I ask that question, where does the Christianity come from? Many Thais are surprised that it is actually an Asian religion.
และอันนี้ข้าพเจ้าพระองค์มาในโลกนี้จะให้เราเข้ามาเราช่วยชุมชนวันนี้
This church plant is based in the community, and we were able to get a good deal on the rent, but we're in a light industrial park. But over the last 5 years, God is blessed, and despite the noise pollution, the sound, the air pollution, and you saw our neighbors with they're painting and fixing motorcycles. On a typical day here, you'll hear the lumber mill be cutting wood over there, or the printing press, printing, and so it's a light industrial park. But God has just used us in this place to share the gospel, and God's word is going out in mighty ways. One lady who you talked to today, she when the team first opened the Bible, she just got in their face and said, why are we studying that? Why are we studying that? And so for 5 years, the team has been faithfully sowing God's seed, God's word into the lives of these men and women. And over time, now they can sit through a sermon and understand. It's also a reminder of how much more we have to go, because these men and women would never have heard the gospel had we not come to this community. And there's thousands more little side streets like this across the city that I'm just overwhelmed that we have to go forward. But this last week was a rude reminder that our funding is not enough. My staff, the staff aren't enough. And so it's just, from a human perspective, it's like impossible. Season Card, we have to go now. I just want to say thank you so much for your sacrifice and for letting Christ be uplifted. God bless you, man. I'm so proud of what you're doing here, and so keep up the good work.
Let's cross over to the other side of the city to another church plant that doesn't have a permanent location yet because, again, of a lack of funds. Welcome to the Klong Toi district that includes Bangkok's largest slum of about 80,000 people. This is a daily wages working community that's trying to fight its way out of poverty. The children born here don't have much hope for improving their lives as this neighborhood is becoming more and more crowded. Domestic and gang violence is commonplace, and child abuse is rampant. Many of the men go to work in the nearby river port for their daily survival, or develop simple skills like this young artisan making little fishing cowboy candy monkeys as he was taught by his father. Bringing hope to places like this is the essence of Christianity. Jesus said, "I have been anointed to preach the gospel to the poor." So you would expect to find a lot of Seventh-day Adventists here, or at the very least, a lot of support for those that are doing this work. This is the Community Health Center, and it's the only public meeting place in this entire neighborhood. We've been granted free access to use it, but as you can imagine, it's often being used for other functions. We really need a place of our own. You may ask yourself, can I make a difference with my mission offerings? When we don't give, there are real costs. Lives are lost. Lives like the lives of these kids and millions like them all around the world.
What is my name? My name is Anne. Anne. Andคุณชื่ออะไร What's your name?
My name is Sha.
Nice to meet you, Sha. And your name? คุณชื่ออะไรพูดภาษาไทยได้ไหมพูดภาษาไทยได้ไหมพูดภาษาสเปนได้ไหม¿Qué es su nombre? We're next to one of Bangkok's largest slums, and our team, there's other groups who've been working here for decades, trying to share the gospel in practical ways. But we've been here now for 4 years, and God's opened great doors. We've been working with the community leader, and when we do activities or have camps and stuff like that, we invite the community leader along. We've done health education, diabetes, education. We've done natural remedies, all kinds of different health things in this community. And the Lord has just, opened incredible doors. We're starting to do small groups here now that we've been able to tear down some of the prejudice. And just this year, the community leaders of this, there's 10 housing developments, housing complexes here, and their government, or their kind of, I'm not quite sure how to describe it, it's Ganagamagan Chumchon. So that's like the community committee who kind of rules, or oversees this this political district. They tell me there's around 10,000 adults, and that's not counting the kids who live in these housing developments. So we're right next to the slum area. But they met together, this community committee, and they said to us, I was there at the meeting, they said, please, we want you to be here full time, because thank you so much for teaching English, thank you so much for doing health programs, and thank you so much for doing all these other ways to serve in the community, but we'd like you to be here full time. And we said, great, what a great opportunity. So they took us to the place where they said, yeah, you can, on this first floor, you can prepare this space to be your church. And please, we want you to teach your religion as well. And I just was rejoicing, but it's been 10 months, 11 months since that meeting, and our leaders, they were here just this last week, and they were saying, it's too expensive. We can't build the facility here. The community leaders have asked us to be here, but our church leaders say it's too expensive. And so in my heart, I rejoice that, we've got, I don't know, I didn't count the kids, we got 60 kids here for this Christmas activity. And this place is just jam-packed with people who are longing to meet someone and that you and I know very dearly, and that's Jesus Christ. And we've got this open door, but instead of an open door, we just see the dollars. So anyway, it's a day of rejoicing, but in my heart, I'm also sad.
How much are we talking about to build what you're...
The church planting pastor has got some blueprints and from a builder, and it looks like it'll be about $1 million baht. And in US dollars today, that's around $30,000. So I know that may not seem like a lot of money to you and to me, but that's you could just describe it instead of a million baht, it's like $1 million.
Why would $30,000 seem like such a lot of money? If your local church were building a fellowship hall, it would be no problem raising that amount. But the fact is that that's 2/3 of the Thailand Adventist Mission's entire yearly budget for the whole country of 65 million people, for all outreach, evangelism, publishing, personal ministries, etc. And this is in a country that is less than 1% Christian. How could this be? How could a country that has so much need of hearing the gospel have so little resources with which to share it? In 1933, the average Adventist in North America gave about $311 a year in tithe in today's money, and an additional $193 through the church toward foreign missions. In 2006, the average Adventist gave about $820 per year in tithe, which is more than 2.5 times what it was in 1933. But when it comes to foreign missions, today the average Adventist will give only about $21, which is 89% less than before. This drop in giving didn't exactly happen suddenly. It's been a long, slow, gradual decline to where we are today, and as you can see, our mission program is statistically nearly extinct. The truth is, we spend 8 times more on pets and 17 times more on our local church budget. How do you think this makes the missionaries feel?
We've been here for 4 years serving the people, the boys and girls and the families.
Our lack of giving tells our missionaries and leaders in other countries that we don't care about the people that they're trying to reach. It sends a strong signal to them that says, don't expand, don't do more soul winning, don't reach out to the poor. We are telling them and the universe that we don't care about the lost souls for whom Christ died, so why should they? We're saying that our money is more important to us than those people are, and we've been telling them this for decades.
These are the working class, people who the government's trying to get them out of poverty and who are looking for education. Their community leaders asked us, to teach IT, to teach computers, to teach media, to help them get out of this cycle of poverty. And yet, our own closed eyes, we don't see that. This is Jesus Christ. Let's stop.